great. I also want to take just a couple of minutes to tell you a little bit about myself, even though many of us have had a chance to get acquainted over these past years. You know, the greatest blessing in my life was meeting my wife, Susanna, who's here with me tonight, right over here, as she has been with everything that's big in the last 36 years. Many of you may not know that I grew up in a small town in Iowa, so the bucolic setting of Nassau County really fits my genes. I mean, I really love being here. I'm the oldest of 9 children. My father was the son of a plumber, and he sold fertilizer to the local farmers until the Lord called him home at the young age of 48. My mother is clearly the most selfless woman I've ever met in my life. Every waking minute of her 86 years, she spent nurturing her 9 children. And I'm so blessed to have that background to bring with you tonight. Because my parents always encouraged us to be grateful for the gifts that God had given us. And they basically instilled in us that it's a duty to use your gifts that God's given you in ways that'll help your fellow man when opportunities arise. So as a child, I understand early that voluntarily exercising your personal responsibility is very important. And one example that comes to mind early in my life was seizing an opportunity to join the Boy Scout troop in my hometown. I did that. I did it by taking an oath. And when I took that oath, I put everything into it, and I eventually became the highest rank. I became an Eagle Scout. And I think about that event, that episode in my life tonight, because as I reflect back, I mean, obviously marriage vows are a different thing, but the oath that I took to join the Republican Party of Florida is really the only other oath I've taken. It allowed me to be a member of this great body and this great organization. I'm telling you folks, the whole country is looking at us. In every corner of the country, they're looking at the Republicans to lead us out of this mess that we're in. So I understood that early, and I was honored to accept the responsibility back in 2022 to help lead and put together a team of poll watchers here in Nassau County for the Republican Party. We put together about 24 folks for the midterms. It was a scrappy group. We found our way, we made it through, and you know what? By this 2024 cycle for the presidential year, we trained and amassed a team of 75 poll watchers in Nassau County, covering all the precincts. And I'm very proud of that. So now today, it's an oath that leads me to this opportunity. An opportunity to serve you as chairman of the Republican Party. And I don't take it lightly. I know that we do a lot of things very well here in Nassau County. People that I've talked with, that I've gotten to know, they're very comfortable with the format of our meetings. You know, talking about having a guest speaker that's talking about local initiatives, legislative agendas from Tallahassee that are on the hot button, and things that are being discussed for the party statewide by the RPOF. It gives us a solid foundation, something to build on. And while the social aspects of our county meetings here is obvious, we need to build the brand of the Republican Party. We need to build the brand of the Republican Party here in Nassau County and in Fernandina to put together an unbeatable coalition for the future. And through conversations with many of you, I've come upon the idea that we can focus on 3 main areas. And as chairman, I intend to appoint standing subcommittees to work on these 3 initiatives. First, fundraising. The second, expanding membership. And the third is building our brand through education initiatives. On the fundraising subcommittee, I think we should just jump right into it and make no bones about it and set a goal to raise $100,000 in the coming year. We can do that. Nassau County is a wealthy county. Did you know that the median income in Nassau County is $84,000 a year? That makes us third of the 67 counties in Florida. There's wealth here, and it's for us to make the case to bring it into this group so that we can do the heavy lifting to make the Republican Party stand up to the challenge that's been given to it by the voters. In 2012, I took a bulk of coursework at the Kellogg Business School at Northwestern, and it focused on philanthropy, nonprofit organizations, how to organizing, and guess what? Fundraising. So I know a little about this to help us get organized. But we do good with the big events, and that's fine, and we should do more of them. But we also have to have a couple of folks from this room to step up and become major gift officers. And that's a person who can sit down and have a conversation with high net worth individuals to make the case for building an educational platform and an outreach program here in Nassau County for the Republican Party. And it's going to cost money. And that's the case we need to make. For the membership subcommittee, first off, I want to pledge that if I'm chairman, the first thing we'll do is we'll go to the new Constitution. We're going to look at the bylaws, and you all have access to this. We're going to look at the rules, because the rules are our friend. And we're going to get all the people who joined in the last 6 months of this calendar year who can't vote tonight reinstated as committeemen. I'd also like to say that the membership committee would do well to be more welcoming, and when we have the sign-in sheet for the guests, I want every guest to have a follow-up conversation after the meeting with someone from the membership committee. We're going to put a process in place where you reach out and invite them to their second meeting so that they have a personal, somebody who they can come and meet in meeting number 2. I also want to have our membership people get in their hands orientation materials so they know what they're signing up for if they decide to do so. And lastly, I'd like to have that membership committee also build to get from the new people what their skill set is. Ask them why they're here, what drew them to come, what their life experience has taught them, and how to use those skills to better our mission, which is to elect qualified Republicans to office. Now, the educational committee is something that we really need some folks in the room who have an idea about expanding our brand in the county. And that's going to take some of you folks who've lived here longer than me, okay? But we have an opportunity in this county. I think right now, almost 80,000 registered voters. Do you know that 23% of them are no party affiliation? That's more than the percentage of registered Democrats. So with better funding, we can do the research to find out what makes somebody choose no party. These are the folks we need to go after. So my goal will be to see this percentage of no party affiliation come down, as well as the Republican registration go up. That's what we can do with some of our money that we raise through our fundraising committee. So, in closing, I have a few remarks here that I'll share with you, just in general, that, you know, the Trump victory in 2024 sets the foundation for a greater struggle, a struggle to govern, to show leadership, and to enkindle within our neighbors the merits of genuine citizenship, and to set aside the false promise that government can solve our problems. True liberty needs to be protected in every generation. President Reagan told us that. He was right. It's achieved by what my parents taught me, voluntarily exercising personal responsibility. With this virtue comes authentic citizenship, which makes us strong men and women, makes us anchors in our family. And those families build safe neighborhoods and elevate entire communities. This is precisely the message of our Republican Party, as she espouses the timeless principles of lower taxes, limited government, and greater economic opportunity. So I ask you for your vote tonight. Together we can, with increased funding, expanding membership, and brand-building education, make Nassau County and the Republican Party up to the challenge it faces. Thank you.